Uh, okay, ma'am. You can start the session, ma'am. If, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So good evening, everyone. Today, we will be talking about bibliometric analysis, which is the second part of doing SLR. So we have already seen how to extract the data and everything. So as requested, I will be giving you a snapshot of what we did yesterday so that you guys, build a connection. Um, request the participants to please mute yourself. Thank you. So let me just begin with the PPT and let me just explain the points, right? I would like to take the doubts if there are any from the previous session so that, things are cleared beforehand, because this is again this next part of it. So it would be better if you ask me the doubts in case if you have any. Any kind of doubt talking about your research topic, what you have taken, you're undertaking any kind of a review paper or anything, whatever doubt related to any kind of research related query, you can ask me. Even if it is not related to this topic also. I don't mind taking it up. Then please ask. Anyone? Okay. No problem. So let me just start with the Scopus because if you requested that. I hope my screen is visible to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when we actually start with any kind of review or any kind of research on the topic, what we really need to do is we need to understand that if the topic has already been done or if the topic is really new. We all understand that if the topic is new, obviously we're going to get the less number of documents. But if the articles or if the topic is very old, obviously we're going to get the vast literature. So this vast literature is not possible for us to, do the review for anybody. Even if you put it in your softwares also, that will also not give you very good results. So what we need to do is we really need to bring down level where we are actually able to gauge the results, right? So any one of you who's having Scopus or Web of Science, they can just start doing it with me. Somebody had a problem, you can share the problem what you were facing. So I'll try to search for your own research topic.
Ma'am, I want to. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, I would want to know about the banana fibers and how is it used in the market.
Okay. So fibers, right? Banana fibers. Okay.
And if there is any blends available.
Any synonym which we can use, because this is a little, not related to management, so I will not be able to suggest any synonyms to it.
Eco-friendly fibers.
Nanofibers, or I can say book-friendly fibers. Okay. Anything else that comes to your mind which we can put?
Biodegradable.
See, you also have to take care of the things that eco-friendly can be written in different forms, right? We can have a hyphen between eco-friendly also, quite possible. So eco-friendly fibers, right? So I have to put the or in between, or you said biodegradable, right? right? So now this is a very, so we are talking of something which is sustainable, which is eco-friendly, biodegradable. So this word would have been used very often with other products also. But here I will suggest don't use it without banana. So what actually you are looking is for banana. I mean, banana fibers, specifically banana fibers and not any kind of fiber. So why it is showing so many articles is reason being because it has picked up all the articles which also has eco-friendly fibers. But I assume that you're looking only for the banana fibers. Am I wrong? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Only banana fibers, ma'am.
And so I think what you can do is you can only do it with banana fibers, right? So I will put it just that, see the difference between the two. So you have to be very smart when you are putting these words because eco-friendly fibers would be anything. It could be coconut fibers also, or it could be any other plant product also, which have been picked up by the tool. So we will remove all these things and now we will search again. Right? See, now we are getting only 1373 documents, right? I'm telling you one more trick here. You may try. See, here we have eco-friendly fibers, biodegradable, sustainable, or something like that. Now, what you can do is you can also put, if you see it on the left-hand side, there it is written search within results. So what you can say is banana. Just try putting it. And now this is showing you the results. From 1,22,000 only, I have brought down to 5,616 articles. So when I did only with banana fibers, I was getting 1,000 something, right? But when I'm doing with all these things, because obviously these are also the synonyms. However, maybe they have not used the banana, they have used coconut or they have used some other plant for eco-friendly this thing. So what I have done is I have just put here banana so that from those a list of 1,22,000 articles, I'm trying to extract all the articles which have used banana in one form or the other. Am I clear with this?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, right. So now if you look at this, now show all abstracts, right? So you have show all abstracts. Now you can see the use of biodegradable polymer forms. You have to read whether it is showing you banana or not. You just have to NTA placing notices. Similarly, you go down here. You will have to read the abstracts whether it has banana in it or not. Or the other way to do it is you go to keywords. Can you see here? You can have fruits also, fruits which are biodegradable. Then just the banana fibers, then banana fiber. This is the other way I'm telling you. Banana fibers. See, there are some mistakes also. People have taken US and UK English version also. So maybe that is another reason why it has been written like that. Right? Can you see? So that is it, I think, from here. I don't find anything else which we can use, right? So I will say limit to. Now, if I do that, how many articles am I getting? I'm getting 1257 documents, right? So now if you go here and you look at these documents, so maybe now you will get what exactly you are looking at, natural fiber polymer. So open the paper. So that will have banana for sure. See, followed by the banana fibers. Can you see here? Similarly, banana fiber here also, right? Right. So what I'm trying to explain here is you really have to look for the things what you are looking at. And there are quite many type of filters which are available on the left-hand side. So this will only come with practice. So the first is for any topic, whichever your topic you're doing, you have to take a broader research. Broader means try using as many synonyms as possible, right? Obviously, somebody who has taken banana fiber for in the research, they must have talked about the sustainability. They must have talked about the eco-friendliness. They must have talked about the biodegradability of a product. All these things are related, right? So that is why we put all these things together, because it is quite possible that they may not have talked about banana fibers. They may have talked about the plant fibers, right? Which would eventually cover the banana fiber also. I hope, Monica, am I making sense to you?
Yes, yes, it's clear. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So let me go ahead with this research only. So rather than this will help you in, understanding the things further. Any other research search document you want me to perform here, I can do it. Anybody who's facing any kind of a problem, I can. It will help you in understanding things. Anybody? Somebody had those in the beginning. Somebody had suggested that I start with Scopus. I don't remember the name of the participant. If you were trying to search for anything, you can tell me. I can help you out.
Could you please search for green marketing, ma'am?
Green marketing. So can you suggest? You have to suggest me the synonyms yourself now. Because it is your research area. Suggest me green branding. Can I take it?
Yeah, madam. Green branding.
Correct.
Yeah. Sustainability.
Or green brand also. I do it and I just do. I'm getting only 200, and let me just reset because probably it is taking from here. Branding, marketing, see how many documents are we getting? 4,58,179. Now, what you need to understand is you should not put sustainability as a word here, because anything related, it could be, see, sustainability is related to almost every discipline and every area, whether it is engineering, whether it is management, whether it is social sciences, behavior, tourism, travel, hospitality. All those industries, they use this word sustainability. So you should not be using this word. I'm just suggesting these things to you because whenever you perform a research, you really need to understand that why are you putting this word sustainability? So green branding, green marketing, or green brand. Rather than putting this, see, if I just delete this word and now I put it, see the difference. If you put a wrong keyword, now the paper will have a problem. Rather, you will have a problem in publication also, then, selecting good articles and justifying the things and then narrowing it down. See, I have just put the words which I really want, right? So I have put it and I have got results 2352, just 2352, right? And now if you look at show all abstracts, it will show me the relevant things. Look about it. Green brand image, green marketing. Can you see it in the title itself? Similarly, here also green marketing, green information, anything related to green marketing, green branding, green innovation, green brand. Otherwise, you have lot many words related to green branding or green marketing. Then you have green brand image, then you have green loyalty, then you have green equity. There are many things which are related to it. So you really need to see what actually you are going to talk about. And you just cannot talk about all the things which are related to the green branding. So the best strategy is go to the review articles, the previous review articles, and see what kind of synonyms they have used. Right? And you may add 1 or 2 more according to, because they must have done in the past for last 3 years or 4 years. So maybe some other synonym has also come up in the market. Just do the literature review and add that to it and see, adding that word, does that make a difference when you are searching your articles, right? Is that clear to you? Right? So now let's look at the
Yes,
search.
madam. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. The next thing what you need to see, we have already spoken about SLR. Right? Now I'm going to talk about the bibliometric. I told you yesterday that bibliometric means, did I discuss anything about bibliometric? I did not discuss anything about bibliometric as far as I remember. Right?
You only mentioned about it, ma'am.
Okay. So let me just tell you before I start searching for the bibliometric also. See. Now, if you look at this word, it is saying biblio. It is made up of 2 words. My screen is visible to everybody, PPT, right? Biblio means book. And metric means measurement. Right? So what are we measuring in a bibliometric? We are measuring a book. Now, book is made up of what? Book has a chapter. In that chapter, what do you have? You have a name of the author. Right? If you just visualize a book chapter, what does it have? It has a title. It has an author. It has a keyword. It has a summary of the chapter, which you call an abstract or the summary, right? Then it has a references. Then it has a body, the text which is there. Then it has a publisher, right? It has a volume. It has a page number, right? All these things are there. So in a bibliometric, we actually measure all the things. We measure how many authors have written about this topic, which are the most famous authors in this category, which are the most journals, or which are the most profound journals, or journals also, books also, whatever, right? So which are the profound authors, which are the profound journals which have published on this, which are the profound publishers who have actually done the work, whatever the research article has been done, who has done the funding the most for such kind of research. Then what are the common keywords which have been used in such chapters? Then what is the kind of content which has been covered? So all these things, right? So if I just show you by picture, this is a chapter, that is how it looks like. So what do you have? You have a name of the journal, you have the publisher, you have a title, author, affiliations, then country where the research has been done, summary, abstract, editor, dates, keywords, publisher notes, copyright, content, author contributions, funding, board statements, conflict references, and everything. Right? Any doubt? Any doubt? Have you understood what is bibliometric? Right? So it was
Yes,
first
ma'am.
actually first introduced in the library sciences. And the founder of bibliometrics was Eugene Garfield, whose H index is 71. And he helped us to create, current contents, citation indexes, journal citation reports, and is known for things like we talk about in general, impact factor, scientometrics, all these things, which I understand that you are the beginners in the research, so I will not dwell much upon this, but just to give you a brief introduction, that it was the first thing which was introduced in library sciences, right? So if you look here is, bibliometric is the branch of library science concerned with the application of mathematical and statistical techniques, from counting to calculus, to study publishing and communication patterns in the distribution of information, right? So bibliometrics is a method that includes statistical analysis of published articles and citations therein to measure the impact. See, I told you there are so many things in the chapter, right? Now, what is the intent of measuring everything? So the intent is to measure the impact.
Hi, Soumya.
Yeah? Any doubt? To measure the
Soumya.
impact. So, kiska impact? Whose impact are we talking about? We are going to talk about author. What is the impact of an author? I mean, who is the profound author, or who are the profound authors in that area, right? Then we always talk about the impact of an article, impact of a journal, or impact of that country in terms of citation. So what happens is when we do a bibliometric analysis, usually the analysis in bibliometric is based on the citations. I hope you guys understand what are citations. Please ask me. I can only explain things if you ask me. If you don't ask me things, I'll just go ahead and assume that you know everything. At least answer and say yes, no, at least that in the chat box when I ask you that do you know about citations or not, or you want me to explain things. Because if I talk about it and I assume that you know it. Citations.
Ma'am, in chat box they said like no, ma'am, you can explain it.
Yeah, I read that. Thank you, Kavi.
Yeah.
See, what happens is, suppose, let me just show you. Because it is good for you. See, you are attending a session to learn. And if the learning is not happening, then my purpose gets retired. So I don't want that you should go from here and say that, the learning did not happen. So you should have some learning. At least I can understand that you cannot take 100%, but yes, even if you take 40, 50%, that's enough for you. Okay. So let me just say a very simple topic, or let's just talk about green branding only, green branding. I'm just putting one word here. Okay. Now, first understand the citations and the references. What is it? Where do you cite in a paper and where do you write the references in a paper? See, suppose if I am an author and I have written this article, the first article which you see here, green branding effects on attitude, functional versus emotional positioning strategies. Can you see here cited by, right? Now this cited by means that suppose now one of the participant who is working on the green branding, right? So if she refers this paper and cite the name of the author. Now, what is citation? What do you understand by citation? Let me tell you that also. Because this is a paper, right? Any paper which you read. I'm sure you must have seen the articles, right? So in all the papers, can you see this? Can you see this wrong at all here? Can you see this, the name of the author? Whenever I'm writing an article, see, I told you yesterday that whenever we write an introduction, we started with a problem. Any problem which is faced by the world, which is faced by the employees, which is any social problem, political problem, any kind of problem. And you need to have an evidence of that problem, that from where is that problem coming? Right? From where is that problem coming? That problem can come from the literature review. You read the literature and you find out that this is the problem. That is one thing. But again, when you read the literature and you say that the problem is coming from the literature itself, that this particular variable has not been researched or not been talked about, then also you have to do the citation. Citation means you give or you acknowledge that author, right? From where does that problem comes? You say that Gendomi and Haider suggested in their work that A leads to B. However, there are other variables also which may impact. Are you getting my point or not? So citations is when we cite somebody, when we acknowledge somebody work, right, in our paper. Okay, I hope it is clear. And from where do you get these citations? This paper has been used by 960 other authors. or has been used by 960 other articles cited by 960. So if you go here, see if I click here, and now this bibliometric is based on the number of citations. If I ask you, if you're doing a bibliometric, and if I say that which article is the most, impactful article with maximum citations is the most impactful article. क्यों वो ज्यादा impactful है? क्योंकि उसको बहुत सारे लोगों ने अपने research में उसको acknowledge किया, right? So what happens is cited by 960. If you go to these 960, if you click here, these 960 articles, they all have used the name of that author, Hartman. Go beyond and beyond. So can you see the papers here? Right? I hope it is clear what is citations, what I'm talking about. It is not called rating. It is basically you are acknowledging somebody. How many times that person is being acknowledged, right? In various articles. Clear? So, हम उसको कैसे देखते हैं? One is we have a Google Scholar citations. Another is you go to the Scopus and you can look at, suppose if you go to this article, you can also see here. This article is cited by how many documents? 0 documents. So not highly cited article, right? Can you see here? And this, the app which AI tool which I used yesterday, Cite, it is also giving you these citations here. Can you see here? It is all 0, 0, 0. So this is citation, 0 citation. I hope it is clear now. Oh, great. Let's go back to the PPT now. Right? So when I'm saying impact, who is making an impact and how do we understand that who is making an impact? We understand it when we realize that the citations are high, right? When the author has high citations, when that article has high citations, when that journal has high citations. So bibliometric, what do we analyze? We analyze the citations, okay, and the frequencies. That is why bibliometric is a quantitative technique of reviewing. It is a quantitative, whereas when we talk of systematic literature review, which we did yesterday, it was a qualitative. Is that clear? Right? It is a qualitative because there we don't do the frequencies and citation analysis. Whatever we do or whatever we count, we do it manually. There is no citation analysis involved in this SLR. However, we club it with bibliometric just to be a little advanced on that. Okay. I hope it is clear. Now, again, next question that will come to your mind is, that should come to your mind and rather, if you remember, yesterday, I told you that types of reviews. I told you there is a meta-analytic review and there is a bibliometric review, if you remember, right? And we have already spoken a lot about systematic literature review yesterday, right? This we have already done. Today we are going to talk about bibliometric review. Meta-analytic, I will give you some idea because you need to understand that when is the right time to go ahead with a systematic review, when is the good time to go ahead with a bibliometric review, and when you can take up a meta-analytic review. Okay. So let me just give you, yes, it was under type of SLR. Yes, you're right, Harsha. That is why I have shown this slide. It is a type of SLR. It is a type of review. Bibliometric is also another type of systematic literature review. Okay. Let me just give you a brief idea of all these 3 reviews. So SLR, bibliometric, and meta-analysis. Can anybody just give me a snapshot of what you have understood from my yesterday's session about SLR? Anything which is even a raw form, whatever you've understood. So don't worry that what others are going to think about you. Nobody knows anyone here. So it hardly makes a difference. So just be yourself and just let me know what have you understood. What is SLR? Anyone? No one would like to give it a try? That means you've not understood anything. Should I assume it like that?
Ma'am, you take the articles under a particular research theme and then you filter them out based on the relevant filters. Then accordingly, like whichever themes you are, like whether it is based on country or the dissidents that you want to study, you try to arrange them in a particular order based on their findings, or country wise, maybe something like that.
Perfect. Okay. So that is a good
Yeah.
explanation. Yeah.
Food go bye.
Sorry.
Soumya.
Please mute yourself. I'm just going through the chats, systematically checking what work is done on a topic. Yes, to identify potential problems is a review of various articles. Okay.
Ma'am, there are responses in the chat also.
Yeah, I'm reading that.
Yes, ma'am.
Message used to identify. Okay, great. So good to set a dialogue rather than, just a monologue, because that will help you in understanding. Right? So, okay, to understand the gap in the research. Good, very good. Okay. So now we all understand that basically what we're doing is we are just assimilating the previous knowledge, right? And we have some number of articles which we really need to assimilate. Now, another question is, when is the time to go for SLR, Biblio, or Meta? Now, when you extract the articles, in the first stage, we extracted, if you remember, we extracted somewhere around 2,735 articles, suppose, when we extracted on the banana fiber. We talked about banana fiber. Right? On the other hand, when we tried for green branding, right, we extracted somewhere around 1,560 articles. I'm just writing approximate number, right? So now, as far as we all understand that it is not possible humanly to organize this kind of a data, thousands of articles. So we really need to bring it down by adopting certain filters, right? So in SLR, what are the kind of filters we apply? Just revise, let's revise what we did yesterday. One was the base year, right? We obviously need to have a base year. We cannot go wrong with base year, whether it is SLR or whether it is a bibliometric. Let's forget about meta at this point of time, right? So base year is important. And I hope everybody understands now that how do we get that base year. If you remember, I'll just show you once again the screen just to give you a fresh thing. We have range here and we go to simple individual and we go to show all. And we just go down and we see that articles are starting from 1976 and go on. So what we can do is we can just select the last few articles and we say limit to. Yeah, so now we have to see that is it talking of green branding? See, it is talking of green marketing. So that means our first article will actually go back to 1976 or 1986, whatever the year we decided, right? I hope you guys understand that now. So basically, for SLR and for bibliometric, we have to set the time period and we need to have a base here. Now we apply the filters. Now suppose this number 2735 is somewhere around, let's say, 20,000 articles. It is now 2735 and it is now 20,000 articles. Now you belong to such a discipline. Let's say if you belong to biomedical sciences or you're a botany student. So for you, probably only the scientific part of it where the botany has been, as a subject has been studied, you would only like to do the research. However, in that case, what is going to happen is the takers of that papers will be limited to only those journals which are related to that your subject. However, if you extend the use of banana fiber and you look at some other disciplines, for example, now this banana fiber can also be there in the environmental sciences. Am I right or wrong? Please respond.
Yes.
Are you guys with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So what I'm trying to tell you here is I am trying to broaden my horizon of research. Just doing the research in my area, I'm trying to take it as an interdisciplinary research. So obviously, when you do an interdisciplinary research, you will have more journals where you can put in your paper. Otherwise, if you just do it in your discipline, you will be limited to only your discipline. Am I making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And these
Yes, ma'am.
2,737 articles, they have to be, all the analysis has to be done by the software. You don't have to do it manually. So can that be managed using a software? Say yes or no. You're not filling any data kind of a thing. Everything will be churned by the software itself. That will make things easy for you. I'll talk about it. I'm going to show you how the software works. But do you think that is workable with 2735 articles? Right? So similarly, for the green branding also, if you have just 1560, that is also doable. Why do we need to just do it for business management discipline? Let me just show you now. Which was this topic? This was green branding. So how many articles do we have? 2,000 something, right? So look at this now. All the articles which are there are business management accounting 1280. Otherwise, how many were there? 2352. Now, social sciences is very related to it. Environmental sciences, if you talk about all the disciplines, and let's assume that this is a new topic. So how many branches will be open? What you can do is you can actually select business management and accounting, social sciences, environmental sciences, economics is also related to business. Because you're picking up environmental science, you can also take up engineering, computer science, agriculture and biological sciences, subjects which are at least interrelated. Psychology, because social sciences, medicine, obviously it's absolutely different. So you may think of leaving that, right? So pick up chemical engineering because green branding we're talking of. You can talk about all the engineering branches. Then, right? And you limit. And see how many articles are you getting now? You are getting 2291. That means there is a lot of overlapping, lot of interdisciplinary research is going on. So it will be a good topic to research on and doing a bibliometric review on this. Now, when you do a bibliometric review, you don't have to apply the quality criteria. However, you can do that. There is no hard and fast rule that you can't apply, but it is purely your choice because if the numbers are less or if the numbers are high, you can straight away go to bibliometric and you don't need to do an SLR. Am I making sense to you? So if the number is, and if you want to do a SLR, you apply all the filters. You bring it down to just the journals, you bring it down to just the articles, right? And you bring it down to let's say English quality criteria, and then you can also apply the quality criteria. Where I talked about ABDC, I talked about ABS and impact factor, right? So all these criteria you can apply in SLR. But if you're doing a bibliometric, there is no hard and fast rule whether you want to apply or not. Even in SLR, there is no hard and fast rule. But it is just technique to bring down the number to a certain sizable thing where the analysis become easy for it. Okay, now you have SLR, you have Biblio, and you have Met, right? I've told you SR, the number has to be more than 40. So anything 40 to 150 is a manageable number. If you suppose if the number is greater than 100 and it is lying between 100 to 150, then you should think of combining SLR with bibliometry. Okay. If the number is greater than 150 to 200, if possible, if you are more than 3, 4, 5 authors, still try doing SLR plus Biblio. However, if the number is greater than 200 and goes greater than 300, do Biblio plus content analysis. This will also be done through a software or a little bit of hard work also, content analysis. You can do it through NVivo, MaxQDA, or you can also do it through manual coding. Right? So what is this manual coding I'll be talking about? These are NVivo and MaxQDA. These are two qualitative softwares, which will again give you the frequency as we are getting in the bibliometric analysis. These two softwares also help us in doing the literature review. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about these two softwares, just to give you an idea. In case if you guys want to explore this, you can explore these two softwares also. There are others also. Now, when you do an SLR, what kind of articles do you have? You have qualitative articles, you have quantitative articles, you have mixed method, and you have conceptual. Okay? Right? In Biblio also, you have all these types of articles: qualitative, quantitative, mixed method, conceptual. Right? I'm talking of this in case यहाँ पर अगर आपको doubt हो रहा है तो मैं आपको समझा देती हूँ. I'm talking of all these articles. Articles which we have just got from Scopus. Okay? So whatever articles we are getting here, all these articles are mixed of qualitative articles, quantitative articles, mixed method, conceptual, and the review articles. If you look here, it will show you separately. Can you see here? Article type and review. There are reviews also. Reviews means review on green branding. Okay. Now, what happens in Meta is we only consider quantitative articles. I hope you guys understand the difference between qualitative, quantitative, mixed method, conceptual, and the review articles. In case if you don't understand, please ask me. For SLR, then for qualitative analysis, we shall need the full article. Yes. See, at times, even for SLR, Prerna, you get most of the information sorry, from the abstract itself. What kind of information do you require for an SLR? You require author, you require title, you require keywords, you require technique applied, right? At times, even the sample size is also given. Findings are also mentioned in the abstract. And at times, you also get a theory also. So what else do you want? Even if you look at PCM, you have a theory, you have a context, which industry, because obviously abstract means the industry is also present. And at times, the country is also there. So all this information is already present. You have a theory, you have a country, you have a method. So most of the times you get everything from the abstract. Even if you don't get a full article, there is no problem. Usually, there's another technique. Suppose if a country is not written, usually the country is taken for the study is first author's native country. Look at the affiliation of the first author. Okay, look at the affiliation of the first author and use that country. And in a paper, you can write that wherever the country was not mentioned, the first author's country was considered in the review. Got it? So,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
we only consider quantitative articles. However, in SLR, bibliometric, we consider all sorts of articles, whether they're quali, quant, mix, conceptual, review also at times we consider. You will find different things. Right? But meta may we only consider quantitative, where your R values are present. R is nothing but we need the coefficient of correlation. Calculate the effect size. So wherever we have values of T, F, R square, we take all that, all those articles. Okay? Any problem? So I've explained this. Now I'm going to the software just to explain how basically the software works. Now the softwares which are used for the bibliometric software is WOSWare, RStudio, Sitespace, Gephi, BigPixel. There are many more, but these two which I have just highlighted, these are the prominent ones. And the bibliometric databases which are used are Web of Science, Scopus, Dimensions, and PubMed. Right? So today we are going to see the extraction from Scopus. Please note that from Scopus, we will have CSV file, .csv. From Web of Science, we have .text file. Okay. So let me just go back and show you. So let's extract these articles only. So what I do is I export and I export the CSV file. And I select all information and let me just extract only first 500 articles only, just to save some time, right? So I'm not extracting all. However, I should have done all, but I'm not doing it just to save some time. In the meantime, the articles are getting exported. You may ask me the questions. If there are any doubts, I can take for 1 or 2 minutes. Abhi tak, in case if you have not understood anything. No?
Ma'am, if you're using a combination of bibliometric and SLR, so first it will be the SLR and then we go for the bibliometric.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll share a few papers also where both SLR, the paper which I was showing you yesterday, so where we have used SLR and bibliometric both. And there is another paper which I'll be sharing it with you today where I have just used the bibliometric. I have though involved some of bibliometric things, but not majorly. SLR things, but not majorly, because again, the data was somewhere close to 300. So it was very difficult to do, to fill the data for 300 articles. Though we were 3 of us, we tried doing it. But again, it is very tedious. So it depends on the number and what kind of extensive research you want to carry. Okay. And previous slide type of this slide you're talking about? Let me just, now the name of the, I'm just sharing the name, WAS Viewer. I've shared it in the chat box. I'm sharing the link also with you. Just go to, I'm sharing how to look for it. Just go to Google and type WAS Viewer. Is anybody doing this with me? Is anybody doing this with me? Okay. Yeah, Dr. Manan. So what you need to do is just type WASWare and the first website which comes, WASWare. Right? And just see here, it is written download. So once you click on the download, you will have download WASWare for Microsoft Windows, for Mac, and for other systems. So whatever system you're using, it will just take 2 to 3 minutes to get downloaded. 1 second, please. Sorry. Okay. So, just take this Microsoft Windows if you're using Windows and Mac if you're using the Mac. So a zip file will be there. You just have to extract the folder, extract the files and just open the file from there, right? So I already have it. So I'm just writing here WASWare and just open. Just take 30-40 seconds to open. Right? So can you see the WASWare screen here? Okay. See now. What you are going to see here is basically a network, right? Now, let me just show you what exactly you will see here. You must have seen those beautiful diagrams in the articles, right? So let me just tell you what actually it is. What are we going to play in this software with? In this software, what we're going to get is some quantitative indicators. I told you that it is a quantitative procedure, right? So when I say quantitative, that means what we're going to measure is, I told you we measure impact. And through impact, here we understand that we are going to measure the productivity. Kiski productivity we are going to talk about. We're going to talk of the productivity of an author, productivity of a journal, productivity of the country, productivity of the institute. That is how we are going to measure the performance of somebody. If you as an author publishing so many articles, if your work is not being cited, then you are not making an impact, right? But if your work is cited, then you are making an impact in that particular research area, right? So and you measure that impact through how? Either by the number of publications, if you have high number of publications, or I told you through citations. There are two ways to measure the impact. So first thing what we do is we measure the quantitative indicators. Okay, the productivity of a researcher, productivity of a journal, productivity of an author, productivity of a country, productivity of an institute. Now, that is why, and we measure it. And how do we measure that impact? We measure the quality of the journal, that is through impact factor. I told you, productivity of that journal, the productivity of the journal will be measured by impact factor, right? Productivity of the researcher will be measured by H index, G index, and M quotient. Okay. Structural indicators. Now, I have talked about the quantitative indicators. I have talked about the performance indicators. See, quantitative indicators gives you the frequency. Performance indicators is talking about your citations or the quality, whatever the work you're producing. Structural indicators is, suppose now there are 67 participants in this workshop. Suppose you make a good network and everybody is connected to each other in a WhatsApp group. From this WhatsApp group, suppose these all 67 people are working in the same discipline, or maybe if they belong to an interdisciplinary thing also. Suppose you make a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 authors, and there's another set of people who make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 set people, and there is another set, and you start publishing. You make a research team and you guys start publishing. And coincidentally, suppose everybody is working on the area of, let's say, banana fibers or green branding. So after a few years, this group probably may cite the names of these authors. This group may also cite the name of, now you understand what I'm saying, citation, right? So this citation authors, and maybe few of you also use some from here, and few of you also use from outside this group of 67 people. Right or wrong? Right? So what are you basically doing? You are developing a network like this. This kind of network, what you are developing, is known as bibliographic network. And now, just look at the size of the node. Here, when we look at the picture, when I will run the software, the size of the node depicts the impact of that. Now, this network can be between authors. It can be between documents. It can be between the references which you have used. It can be between the countries. Possible or not? Please say yes or no. Are you getting my point or no? Yes, making sense to you? Right? Whatever network you are getting here is known as a bibliometric or bibliographic network. That is what we are going to generate. Now, there are different types of networks which you can make. First is a single node type. Another is a bipartite, and another is a similarity networks. Now, let's understand, because this is what I'm going to show you right now. Right? And you must understand all these things before I run the software. Now, if you look at this one first single node type, if you look at this first single node type, you will understand that all 1, 2, and 3, please look at this carefully. 1, 2, and 3, all these are gray in color, and they represent a single entity, single or common entity. That means this is also an author, this is also an author, and this is also an author. And they are connected to each other. How they are connected, that is a different story. How they are connected, they may be connected because they have written a common paper together. They have written a paper together. That is how they are connected. And in how many articles they have written or they have done the work together. Co-authorship. So that will become a co-authorship. bipartite network. This is an author, this is an author, this is an author, and this is a journal. This author has published in this journal, this author has published in this journal, but this author has not published in this journal. Similarly, this second author has published here, here, but not here. Third has published here, here, but not here. Still, they are making some kind of a network, right? You will see here. Can you just interpret this? The second one, bipartite one. As a layman, I'm not looking at some scientific conclusion from you, but just as a layman, if I've told you that 1, 2, 3 are authors and 5, 6, 7 are journals. So how would you interpret this? Ultimately, software is going to only give you the charts, but interpretation is done by you, right? So how would you interpret it? I shall come back to your question. Anyone? Give it a try. Think about it. Each author has published minimum in 2 journals. Look carefully. Prerna, look, try once more. You'll get the right interpretation. You're on a right track. Look carefully. What can you interpret? Yes, Harsha, Journal 6 is the most popular one where all the authors have published, right? So this Journal 6, see, the arrows is coming from here, here, and here as well. So you got the interpretation right. Simple. This is what we're going to study. Now, similarity networks. Another type of network, what we get is a similarity network, right? I told you co-authorship from here. They have co-authored the articles together. What happens is, author 1, this is also author, this is also author, and this is also author. Author 1 is connected to author 2. This is 1, 2, and 1. This is the number of publication. Author 1 is connected to author 2 through just one document. That means both author 1 and 2 have written one document together. Author 2 and 3 have written 2 documents together. So that makes a co-authorship, right? 1 and 3 have written one document together. However, you can see this 4 is lying alone in a network, has no co-authorship, right? So this person will not be shown in the network. So whenever you run the bibliometric analysis, it gives you that suppose there are 208 authors in 500 documents we have extracted. Suppose. So there is a possibility that out of 200, only 150 are connected to each other through something, journal, authors, countries, affiliations, or whatever. So rest 58 are not connected. So bibliometric will only show you the network of only these 50 authors, those who are connected, but will not give you a network of 58 authors, those who are not connected to each other. Making sense? Are you getting what I'm trying to explain? Even if you're getting 20, 30% of it, don't worry. Say at least yes if you got even 30%. Because obviously the first session of any software will not make a clear understanding of 100%. But at least if you are making sense out of it, is more than enough. Great. Great. So I'm happy that at least 20, 30, 40% you are understanding something. Now, let's go to the software. This panel on the left-hand side, if you see my cursor, this one. This panel where you can see my pen, this one, this is the board where you will get all your networks here. So this is the main panel. This thing on the left hand side has got three things, which is file, items, and analysis. So under this, there are certain options which you have to click how you want to operate. Okay. So under items, you will have different, whatever analysis you are running. When you have the networks, it will give you that whatever clusters they are making, that will show in the items. And the kind of analysis what you are getting will show you the method which they have considered for running this analysis. This network visualization, overlay visualization, and density. These are the three kinds of charts which are absolutely similar to each other. However, network visualization gives you the network. Overlay visualization is based on the publication years and the citations, which I will show you. But the networks are absolutely the same. If A author is placed here, A author will be placed at the same place in overlay visualization also and the density visualization also. Okay, right? Density, as the word says, density visualization means how denser it is. Right, that I'll come to it when one. On the left, on the right hand side, where you can see my cursor at this point of time, this gives you whatever the aesthetic changes you want to bring to your networks here. Okay, so this is about the user interface. And at the bottom of the screen, you will get the information here at the bottom of the screen about this network. Okay, so now we go to create a map based on network data. First, you see three things here. What I have done, I'll repeat the step. Can you see here file button? Just, I have simply clicked file and create, and you will find three things. Create a map based on network data, create a map based on bibliographic data, create a map based on text data. Now, create a map based on network data. To run this option, we need to have a network file. So we don't have a network file. What do we have is CSV file. So we run the CSV file, which is being run on the second option and the third option. So we'll try with the second option, create a map based on bibliographic data. And I say next. Read data from bibliographic database files. Yes, we say next. Now there are 5 options here. Web of Science, Scopus, Dimensions, Lens, and PubMed. What we are using is Scopus database. So we click on the Scopus. You can see here it gets changed. If I say Web of Science, it will have Web of Science. If I say Dimensions, it will have Dimensions. Lens, it will say Lens. PubMed, PubMed. So whatever database you're using, just click that. 3 dots on the right hand side, that's a browse thing. Just go to browse. And I will go to downloads, right? And I have just extracted one file. I'll just look at name of the file. What is the name of that file? And let me just give me a second. Let me see what was the name of the file. Saying an error occurred while exporting, so I have to export again. So I'm exporting it again. Give me a second. I'm exporting the file again. Just will take another 20-30 seconds. Bear with me. It's just getting downloaded. It's taking time to download. Let me see if I have any other file. I can just attach that file. Not getting exported. So don't worry. I'll show you with some other file. Don't worry. I'm taking some other file. Just give me a minute. I'm just extracting the file. So I have a Web of Science file instead of Scopus file. I'm just taking this data on panic buying, but it is a Web of Science file so that you can see the extension is .txt, right? So you will not find any difference in running the analysis. The process remains the same. However, I have this .txt file ready with me because that is not getting downloaded. So I'm using this file from here, and this data is on panic buying, right? I will just attach this file. Now let me just go to Wasware. So I browse from here and I think I missed on. I need to change this. This is a Web of Science data. Change that. Right? So now what I have done is I have just attached a simple .txt file. Instead of Web of Scopus, I'm using Web of Science. Just go to next. Now, can you see these options here different what I have already discussed through my PPT? Co-authorship, co-occurrence, citation, bibliographic coupling, co-citation. So now these words, at least you're familiar with what is co-authorship, co-occurrence. Now, I'll explain all these terms also to you so that the analysis becomes more clear. Co-authorship, I hope everybody understands how many co-authored authors have co-authored the documents, right? So out of a lot of 67 students here, how many of you have co-authored with each other, right? Then the unit of analysis could be organizations. From how many organizations you have co-authored, from how many, because the participation is from different countries. So from how many countries people have co-authored, that is what it meant, right? Next is co-occurrence. Now co-occurrence means the unit of analysis will be here, keywords, author keywords and keywords plus. All keywords means it includes both the author keywords and the keywords plus. Author keywords are nothing but the keywords which are given by you in the abstract. Just below the abstract, you always mention those keywords. So those are given by the authors. Keywords plus are those words which are being given by the journal. Okay. And when I say all keywords, so that means both have been combined together. Next is the citation. Citation, I've already told you what is citation. So we do the citation analysis of what? We do the citations of how many citations have been received by the document. Because now suppose if you want to see which are the top 5 documents in panic buying, which are the top journals or the sources in panic buying, which are the top authors in panic buying, which are the top organizations which are working in the panic buying literature, which are the top countries which are working in the panic buying area, right? So obviously there are 2 ways to do it. I told you, you can do it either by the number of publications or you can do it through number of citations. Then is the bibliographic coupling. Now, this coupling, both bibliographic and the co-citation coupling, this I will talk about towards the end because here it will confuse you. Let's first talk about first 3 analysis and let's understand. And then towards the later run, we will do the next 2 also. Okay, there's some questions in the chat box. Not able to see the software? You're not able to see the screen? Oh, you could have unmuted yourself and said that. I'm so sorry. I have not performed anything so far. I have just shown this screen to you. I'll just show you again. See, these are the types of analysis. Co-authorship, can you see here? Unit of analysis here. Co-occurrence, what I was explaining, all keywords, author keywords, and the keyword plus. In case if you feel find any problem in future also, please let me know. So citation, I told you, it can be done on the basis of documents, sources, authors, organization, and countries, right? Which document has got maximum citation, which journal has got maximum citation, which author are the top authors, which organizations or which colleges, institutes are the top institutions, which countries are the top on the basis of citations. Okay? So let's first perform the co-authorship. I hope everybody understands what is co-authorship now. Co-authorship on the basis of authors now, right? And we just go to next. Minimum number of documents of an author. Now, minimum, please understand this line, minimum number of documents of an author. That means that authors which are under analysis, there the threshold they have taken is 3, that only the authors who have written minimum 3 documents in the area of panic buying will be considered for the analysis. That is why you see here that out of 278 authors, only 3 are mentioned. Suppose if I reduce it, you can see the number at once goes to 29. And if I reduce it further, that let's consider all the authors, right? 278, obviously it will show all. And minimum now what we can do is, we can do it on the basis of number of citations. Suppose we don't want to take the 278 authors. So what we will do, we will reduce it by putting up a threshold that at least every author which I'm considering, because I am doing a performance analysis, right? Productivity analysis, how the author is performing. So obviously, every author has written 1 document. So we are not measuring the performance that way. So let's at least say that I will only consider the authors who have got minimum 10 citations, or maybe let's say 20 citations. Otherwise, I will not consider the authors, or maybe 25, or maybe 30. So as soon as you increase the number here, you will see the author number is decreasing. Can you see? So let me make it 50 here. So 80 authors are there who have received the minimum 50 citations, okay, on the co-authorship analysis. And I just say next. And then I say next. So I'm getting all the names of those 80 authors here. And how many documents have they written? Can you see? If you remember the beginning, I told you that there were only 3 authors when it was putting a threshold, that these many authors have published, only 3 authors have published the 3 documents, right? So if I want to do the analysis on the basis of number of documents published by them, then I will consider this status. But if I want to consider on the basis of number of citations, I just click here and you see it is getting arranged in ascending and the descending order. Can you see? What was the threshold for citations? I had put 50. So see, the minimum is 52, right? So it is getting arranged in an ascending order. And if I press here, again, it is getting arranged in a descending order. So this author who has written 3 documents on panic buying, how many citations is he getting? He's getting 288. So now in terms of the number of publication also and the number of citations also, this author is the profound author, right? So can we have these 5 authors, right? Naeem Akhtar, Islam Tahir, Liang, Mubarak, Vikas Arya, Pitafi, Abdul Bangi, all these. Can you see here? Right? And I just say finish. Now, remember I told you that there is always a possibility that now that we have taken that these authors are prominent, they have shown the productivity in terms of citations or in terms of publications. But obviously, all these authors cannot be well connected to each other, right? So out of 80 authors, it is showing, because now what analysis are we performing? Co-authorship. How many authors have co-authored together? So saying out of the list of 80 authors, only 17 are connected. Can you see? And I say, okay, show me which 17 authors. So we get a cluster of 17 authors. Can you see that there is no other color? So this means all these authors are falling in just one cluster. So there is a possibility that they have just written one document only. Okay. Now, if you look here, see here. If you go to this main article of Bennett, Kate, or whatever the names are here, and I'm sure that this must be one article, not more than that. Because they have co-authored in only one. This is Hartman. This, can you see? And see, everybody has got the same size of the notes, same number of citations. So it is just a one document where from the lot of 80 authors, there's only one document where 17 authors have co-authored together, right? And if you look at the overlay visualization, see, there is no difference. And if you look at the density visualization, see, the placement of the authors does not change. And can you see the density is also the same? कोई भी ना ज़्यादा dark है yellow, ना कोई ज़्यादा light है. Every author has got the same kind of density. Okay. Now you look here. Network visualization. This is, look on the right hand side of the screen, where this, I told you the aesthetics can be controlled. Now, you can see here weights, it is given on the basis of the documents. Now, if I do it on the basis of number of citations, because I believe, I'm not sure, but I still believe that this is just a one document. Suppose if I click on number of citations, see, it is not making any change. That means everybody has got the same citation also. Otherwise, these numbers, the size of the node will change, right? If I go to overlay visualization, this is based on the number of documents and citations again. So usually we do it for the citations. So if you see here, average citations, can you see this continuum here? And this all has green color. So the continuum is also not showing anything. This continuum ranges from purple to yellow color. I will show you this, so don't worry that nothing is here. It's just, see, you can get anything from the analysis. The point is how you interpret the data. That is important. And I'm showing you this. I'm already working on this. So I'm getting this type of data. So I have to analyze this data, right? So I'm showing you purple color to yellow color into green. But this is all my green. So it is lying somewhere here. And everybody has got the same citation. And this continuum is of citations. Can you see weights here? If I click here, documents. So this will be based on the documents. But if I click here on the base of average publication year, this continuum is not showing me any years because it is published in 1 year only. That is how I'm interpreting, right? So size variation, you can change it to frames. So, and if you want to increase the maximum length, you can do it from here. You want to change the font, you can change it from here, whatever font you want, right? And last is the density visualization, which is again based on the documents, citations, and links. So you can see on the basis of documents, everybody has got the same density. Utna hi kaam kiya hai sabne. Okay. Is this clear? And look here, I told you though, any doubts in understanding this? Interpretation of every graph will differ. Right? Suppose if there had been 2-3 colors, then that will mean that it has 2 clusters. It will have 3 clusters. Number of colors represents the number of clusters. Let me show you how. Go to create again. I go pick up any data. Now let me just pick up next, and let's do it for countries now. These, because co-authorship hai, to let's do it for all the 38 authors. Like this second. All out of 38, how many are connected? 34. Let's see, do they belong to same country or different? See. Now, authors from different countries have collaborated. And how many clusters are there? These 2 authors from here, right? These 4 authors from here. Can you see? And if I go to items, these are falling into one cluster. Can you see this? Look at the bottom of my screen. It is showing you how many items. Items means jitne bhi yahan pe hamare authors hamare network mein hai. So that gives the number. Cluster means the colors. There are 9 colors, which means 9 clusters. Links means the links they have established. And what is the total link strength of all this network is 98. Right? So cluster 1, 6 items. So you can count here which color has got. You can see just which color has got. Bangladesh, India. Just see where is Bangladesh. Yeah, India. Bangladesh must be here. The Bangladesh is just behind that. Then Indonesia, 3, Iraq, Singapore, and Nepal. Nepal is hidden, must be somewhere behind the Singapore. That is why it is not visible here. 6. Cluster 2 has got 5 items. Brazil. Just see where is Brazil. Yeah. Can you see this is lighter here, Italy? If I highlight it, it will come. England, Papua New Guinea, Italy, Egypt is not visible, must be behind here somewhere. Right? Similarly, we have, you can see just all that. Right? And you can change it to circles. If you change it to, can you see? Here it is another one. And this USA, if I click here, just see. Now this map is being analyzed on the basis of number of documents. Just look at the right-hand side of my screen. Weights, where it is written documents. So this USA has published the most. Can you see the node is the biggest circle? Node means the circle, size of the circle. It is the biggest. Followed by England. Then maybe India and then Australia. So, right? Size of the nodes. If I go here and if I click on citations now, just watch the network. The size of the nodes will change now. Right? Can you see the difference? Documents, no, see. Is it changing? See, is it changing? Why? Because the citations of the particular country is different. Because now I am analyzing them on the basis of the citations. Earlier, I was doing it on the basis of documents. Okay. Similarly, if I go to overlay visualization, now you see here. one concept of clustering different countries. We are not clustering different countries. We are clustering authors from different countries. What was the analysis we were doing in the beginning, Harsha, if you remember? We were talking of co-authorship. From which countries authors have co-authored? This is the question. So the authors have co-authored from these different countries. Okay. That analysis was on co-authorship. Did you get this? Right? So look at this overlay visualization. If I click here, see it is scores. Now you have to check this overlay visualization on the basis of this continent. The purple color means USA got the maximum citations in 2019. And in this article, the authors who collaborated in this year, they got the maximum citation, and that was in the year 2019. Then you move on to 2020, somewhat like greenish color, probably this color, Russia, right? So China, people are China, or yes, this color, right? So this, then they got the citations. Then you move on to this lighter green color, maybe Australia or maybe India. And 2022 is the yellow color, because these are the recent ones. Obviously, these are the recent ones, and they must have not got many citations as compared to the USA, which was USA co-authorship, which was there in 2019. So it is very obvious that when you're writing an interpretation, you must mention that, yes, the citation received by this country is higher because this work was done in 2019, which is due to, right? Got it? And then if you can also look at the citations received, can you see here? Now, these are the citations given on the continent. If you look at the bottom of my screen, 20, 40, 60, yellow ones. See, this was, if you go back, let's see South Africa ka kya tha publication here. Can you see green? This is somewhere around greenish blue, somewhere around here, 20, around 20. But still, if I go to the citations, South Africa is getting more citations. Can you see this is a yellow color, right? And it is collaborating with New Zealand and author from New Zealand and Australia. This is how you read a network map. Yeah. Now we next go on to create next. Co-occurrence of the keywords, right? So I'm taking this minimum number of occurrences of a keyword. That means it is talking of a frequency of a keyword. So the frequency of a keyword is here, the threshold is 5, which is a default. So, and only 24 meet the criteria. But I want to look at some other panic buying keywords which are attached to this particular word. So I will just reduce it to 3. So now I'm getting 51, or maybe I can reduce it further so that I get 116. But just for the simplicity, I'm keeping it 3 here, and I go to next. And I go to next. And you can see that I'm getting all these things in. Right? These are my keywords. And if I look at the frequencies, COVID-19 panic buying triggered because of COVID-19. That is why I see the frequency. Panic buying ka reason kya tha? COVID-19. It is making an impact. What is getting impacted? The behavior of the consumer. Right? So if I say finish, how many clusters am I getting? 6. Itne colors hai, itne clusters hai. How many links are there? 414. Total items, 51. Then you see panic buying in COVID-19 are the most prominent ones. And here it gives you the words which are falling in the common cluster. Yellow color cluster has got panic buying, COVID-19, pandemic, consumer behavior, coronavirus, stockpiling. So what is the kind of, now this portion of research or this portion of analysis is basically being used to check the different themes which are there in the literature. So first is panic buying, which is triggered due to COVID-19. If you look at the second one, it is talking about brand loyalty, choice, demand, and supply. Can you see demand word is here? impact inventory. So it is talking of inventory, model, promotion, sales, Twitter. That means it is talking of the supply chain also in during COVID-19, not during COVID-19, how supply chain works during panic buying. Then they're saying this panic buying is basically is a disorder. If you look at the cluster 3, please look at the items which I'm highlighting, how you're going to give the theme to that particular. So you look at the words which have been there. Anxiety, disorder, fear management. Why do people adopt such behaviors? It is considered as a disorder that people, panic and they out of the fear, or they have this kind of a, scarcity syndrome, something like that. So this kind of behavior is being adopted by the individuals, and people need to develop the resilience towards such behaviors, right? So all the uncertainty ki wajah se ye hota hai. So another would be reasons for panic buying. Why do people go for it? Next is consumer behavior, hoarding, pandemic, panic buying, and stockpiling. Similarly, you go for the next cluster, motivation, consumers, talking more about the consumers. So you can refine this here. Now, how do you refine this? I'll just tell, there are many ways to do it, but I'll tell you a quick way to do it here, because you are just new to it. So I will not confuse you much, but at least I should tell you that. Now you look here. See, if I arrange these words alphabetically, can you see the COVID-19 is getting 37 and COVID-19 pandemic is getting 7. There is a thing called thesaurus file which needs to be created. However, I'm not going ahead with that. Reason being because you're very new to the research. You can always adopt a second approach in the beginning. And maybe when you get used to it, maybe you can adopt it later. So what you can do is just uncheck this. There are 2 frequencies given. So this COVID-19 is occurring 37 times and COVID-19 pandemic is occurring 7 times. So I will, and these are the 2 things. And my network will not look nice if I have both the things. Can you see here? COVID-19 is also here and coronavirus is also here. Going by logic, we should not have these 2 words in the same map. Am I right or wrong? Right? Similar meaning के साथ कोई मतलब नहीं है ना मैप का. आप एक ही वर्ड आपने पैनिक बाइंग भी लिख दिया, आपने स्टॉक पाइलिंग भी लिख दिया, आपने होर्डिंग भी लिख दिया, और तीनों का मतलब तो सेम ही है. उनको तीनों को लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, सो आई एम जस्ट अनचेकिंग दिस. सिमिलरली सी लुक हियर, कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर यहाँ पे 3 है, यहाँ पे 4 है, यहाँ पे कंज्यूमर है, यहाँ पे कंज्यूमर्स है. सो पिक ईदर ऑफ द 2, arrange them alphabetically and pick consumer stockpiling and panic buying का भी सेम ही मतलब है, और इसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी सिर्फ 3 है. तो जिसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी कम है उसको आप अनचेक कर दो. ठीक है. सिमिलरली हेयर ऑल्सो आप कंज्यूमर को अनचेक कर दो. Then consumer behavior, you can uncheck this. And here it is a difference. Let's say I uncheck this. Then see fear appeals, and this fear has got higher. So I will just uncheck. Hoarding also I will uncheck for the time being. Then similarly, I will uncheck for whatever I feel the word is not appropriate. Model, I don't think should be a part of it. Online, okay. Outbreak, pandemic, okay. Panic buying behavior. See, panic buying is more, so I will uncheck this panic buying behavior. Reasons for panic buying could be risks, scarcity, perceptions, promotions, public policy, resilience, the scales. Scales, I don't need it. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to improve my network. Right? So stockpiling, I don't want. Stress, I don't want. Twitter, I don't want. And this is, I'm just trying to improve, nothing else. I'm not doing anything very, very illogical. Which is must be making sense to you. Can you see now? Still the clusters are same, but probably my clusters, I will try to make more sense out of it. Somebody who's looking now, there is no repetition of the words at least. Right? So now what I can do is I can just look at the analysis from here. I can also go to association strength. I can also go to fractionalization just to check whether adopting this technique reduces the cluster. See, the clusters has reduced. The technique which I adopted was association strength. You don't have to understand what it is. You just have to mention, right? Update clustering. So it has reduced, right? So when I go to fractionalization, update clustering. clusters have reduced because अगर 6 होंगे तो आपको लिखना भी तो उतना पड़ेगा ना. 4 आपने लॉगिन का किया, ये लॉग से किया तो और भी कम हो गए क्लस्टर्स, राइट? बिकॉज मेजरली हमने देखा कि सब कीवर्ड से हमारा मेजर क्या क्लस्टर्स निकल रहे हैं. एक तो पैनिक बाइंग का इम्पैक्ट क्या है, व्हाट आर द फैक्टर्स विच आर लीडिंग टू पैनिक बाइंग, और एक क्या था हमारा दैट व्हाई पीपल आर getting these panic attacks, right? Why people are behaving like it. So main 3 and the supply chain disruption. So 4 हमारे बहुत prominent themes आ रहे थे. यहाँ पे हमारे और कम हो गए, यहाँ पे हमारे 4 ही clusters हैं. So maybe that will make more sense to me. So I'll just go here and I'll see. What I do is now I just go to my file here and I go here save, right? And right click and I just fail this line as panic buying clusters, right? And I save it as CSV and I would like to save it in my downloads folder. Right. Now I will take you to my downloads folder. Here, can you see here panic buying clusters? I'm just opening this file. You see, this is the file. And if you look at this column, this is the header. These are the clusters. I will just sort them as smallest to largest, expand. And that's it. These are the keywords of my first cluster. These are the keywords of my second cluster. These are the keywords of my third cluster. And these are the keywords. Now, what you can do is, this is called the themes which are prominent in the literature, and you discuss about these themes. You can either do it in SLR. See, ऐसा नहीं है कि आप SLR में themes इसके through नहीं निकाल सकते अगर papers कम है. Bibliometric will run, Boswell will run even on 40 articles, even on 60 articles, right? So manual coding में हम क्या करते हैं, हम हर article के आगे लिखते हैं कि what is this article talking about? Next article, next article. So we do it manually and then we combine and we put all the manual coding, whatever codes we have assigned, we put them under one broader category. The articles which have got the common codes, they will be categorized under one category. That is how they do it. And here, what we do is we do it through a sort. I hope it is clear. Any doubts? Next is citation. Now, this is the number of citations now is the impact of the research. Next. So 85, let me see. हमें minimum citation हमें at least 10 तो हों किसी भी, है ना? हम at least ले लेते हैं 20. Threshold depends on you, whatever depending upon the number of articles you're getting, you can just set it accordingly. But you have to write it. See, we are trying to calculate the impact of the author, productivity. Islam has got 277. So first top 10 authors based on the citation. यहाँ से आप इसको right click करिए, export selected documents. So this will get exported in text file and save it wherever you want and just copy that text file into an Excel and just publish your results. Okay. And if I say finish, see, out of 45, 34 are connected. Let's see what it shows when I'm saying no. These are the authors which it says were not connected. Okay. So let's do the next thing. Let's do it for journals, sources. Next. And let me do it for just all 55. Next, next. Now the citation received by journal. Can you see the first journal? Journal of Retailing and Consumer Services has got the maximum citations. How many documents published on panic buying? 11. Marketing research, service management, retailing, all this. Can you see? Right? And I just say finish. It's not simple. It's just that you have to practice it 5-6 times and see. Right? So now you can do this on any impact आप किसी भी चीज का निकाल सकते हो. Sorry, impact, productivity, performance analysis आप किसी का भी निकाल सकते हो. Authors का भी, organizations का भी, countries का. Right? So let's now understand what is bibliographic coupling and co-citation coupling. So I'm taking you to my slides just to make you understand what it is. So this is called, the research question here will be, what is the intellectual structure of knowledge, right? When we talk about the intellectual structure, then we need to talk about the coupling analysis. And this coupling analysis can be done in 2 ways. One is called the co-citation analysis and another is called the bibliographic coupling. Now what it is, let's understand. Here, if you look at this co-citation, let me explain you through this. Paper A and paper B. First, we are talking of the bibliographic coupling. What is bibliography? What is bibliography? The references which we usually write towards the end of the paper, right? That is called the bibliography or the references used. When we do it for a book, it is bibliographic. When you do it for articles, it is references. Suppose there are 2 articles and we say they are bibliographically coupled, which means they have, suppose there are 2 participants from your end. One is Harsha, another is Monica, right? Both Harsha and Monica has cited my paper, Dr. Sahani's paper. So this means Harsha and Monica, they are now bibliographically coupled. Okay, understood? Co-citation will be when Harsha and Monica are associated because now both Harsha and Monica are present in my article, in my reference list, whatever article I am writing. Then that becomes a co-citation coupling. Understood? Simple example दिया मैंने. आप में से 2 participants, हर्षा एंड मोनिका, इन्होंने मेरा पेपर जब साइट किया, दोनों ने अलग अलग अपना पेपर जो भी लिखा, सपोज क्वालिटेटिव पेपर कोई लिखा है, they have cited me, right? So when they cite me, that means their references are common. So that means these 2 authors are bibliographically coupled. On the other hand, when Harsha and Monica, I as an author, Kabir as an author, when me, Kabir, and let's say Dr. Manan, we are citing Harsha and Monica in our work, then me, Kabir, and Dr. Manan are co-cited, co-citation coupling. Understood? Slight difference, but when you sit with yourself for 5 minutes, you will understand, right? So when we do a co-citation coupling, then the knowledge base is common. Because, see, understand, हर्षा एंड मोनिका ने मुझे क्यों साइट किया? क्योंकि दोनों ही क्वालिटेटिव पेपर पे काम कर रहे थे और मेरे बहुत सारे क्वालिटेटिव पेपर्स में बहुत सारी चीजें थी, तो मेरा नॉलेज, उनका नॉलेज बेस कॉमन हो गया. क्वालिटेटिव स्टडी पे काम कर रहे थे इसलिए क्वालिटेटिव स्टडी कॉमन हो गई. बट यहाँ पर क्या है? रिसर्च फ्रंट कॉमन है. ठीक है, ब्रॉडर एरिया. रिसर्च फ्रंट मतलब जिस चीज पे आप सपोज पैनिक बाइंग, आप मुझे तभी साइट, मैं तभी आपको, मैं पैनिक बाइंग पे काम कर रही हूँ, मैं तभी किसी को साइट करूंगी अगर उन्होंने पैनिक बाइंग पे काम किया. तो मेरा रिसर्च फ्रंट कॉमन हुआ ना. और वहां पे मेरा मेथड ऑफ एनालिसिस कुड बी वन थिंग, क्वालिटेटिव मेथड है, मैंने किसी कंट्री के बारे में बात की है और वो उसी कंट्री का एग्जाम्पल दे रहे हैं. जेनेरिक थिंग जब हम बात कर रहे हैं तब हम बिब्लियोग्राफिकली कपलिंग की बात करते हैं। और जब हम अपने रिसर्च ओरिएंटेशन की बात करते हैं, अपने रिसर्च एरिया में जब हम किसी की बात करते हैं, देन इट इज अ पोस्ट साइटेशन कपलिंग। इज दैट क्लियर? राइट? Let's perform this. First is bibliographic coupling. So what is common here in bibliographic coupling? Knowledge base or research front? What is common? Please answer. Knowledge base is common, right? Knowledge base. कुछ भी research methods का knowledge हो गया, quantitative का knowledge हो गया, qualitative का knowledge. In general, when we Scopus use किया है, तो मैंने भी Scopus use किया, चाहे मेरा discipline behavioral sciences है और आपका medical है, still you can refer me. So the knowledge base is common. हाँ, तो हम उसके basis पे let's see कौन से authors are bibliographically coupled. Next, knowledge base is common. Please remember. And I'm just trying to just make a bibliographic coupling of only 29 authors. Next, and I say finish. Can you see this? How many clusters? 5. So this cluster has got a common knowledge base. बिब्लियोग्राफिक कपलिंग है तो किस तरह का होगा? ये किसी जेनेरिक चीज की बात कर रहे होंगे. They will probably not be talking about panic buying. They would have probably chosen some common research method or common some base, knowledge base is common. However, on the other hand, let's see, when I'm performing a post-citation coupling, let's see, let me do it on the authors again, right? Now the research front is common. बहुत easy नहीं है समझना, I understand that, but at least मैंने कोशिश की आपको बहुत easy words में समझाने की. Now ये जितने भी green में, red में आपको 5 clusters नजर आ रहे हैं, इनका research front common होगा. इन्होंने panic buying के ही बारे में बात की होगी. आप items पे जाओगे and you look at the papers of these authors, you will find them that they have talked about this panic buying only. However, when you go for the bibliographic coupling, you may and you may not find these things of panic buying, right? I think you as a beginner, even if you gain something from this workshop, it's praiseworthy. I know it is not easy to grasp so many things. It is, we are very, try to cover so many things in 4-5 hours. And for a researcher, for a new researcher especially, it becomes very difficult. So I am now open for the forum, opening the forum for any kind of doubts. And here I finish my presentation. You can just ask me queries, whatever you have from this or beyond the session also. Any doubts?
Any doubts? If you have participant, please you can post in the chat box also. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and you can ask ma'am.
Yes, please ask me. No doubts?
Ma'am, there's a one this look no doubt in chat box, ma'am.
Each cluster represents a theme, right? Now, it is for you to analyze those words, Prerna. I have shown you that there are 3 things, items, right? So go to the second tab, which is items, and just click there. What type of what items are present there? And try to make sense out of those items. If you think that they are not making sense to you, rerun it again and again, right? Because this is AI generated. So every time you generate a map, it's going to be different. However, major things will remain the same, but you can always give it a try by cleaning the files itself. See, I have taken a very basic bibliometric review. There are many advanced things which we really need to learn, that we need to do the cleaning of the files before we send the data here. Then there is thesaurus, which we really need to know. Then there is too many softwares, network file, which we can use, all those things, right? Okay. Yes, any other doubt? You can subscribe for Scopus only through the universities. So you can check with the university. I'm sure these universities these days, they either have a Scopus or Web of Science. Most of the, you check with the library, you will be having. Okay, next. Any doubt? Thank you, Prakash. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lipsa.
If participants don't have any doubt, then we can go for a vote of thanks. Okay. Good evening, everyone. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's e-workshop on ethical use of AI tools for research and systematic literature review. On behalf of Saraswat Education Society, Sridhara Kakulu College of Commerce and Management Studies, I extend my deepest gratitude to all those who have made this event possible and successful. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Shalini Sani ma'am. Your valuable insight and expertise in AI tools and systematic literature review have been incredibly enlightening us. We deeply appreciate your time, effort, and knowledge you shared with us during this workshop, ma'am. I would also like to extend a special thank you to the management of Saraswat Education Society, Sridhara Kakulu College of Commerce and Management Study for their unwavering support and encouragement in organizing this event. Your constant guidance and made it possible to hold such impactful academic session. A sincere thank you to our respected principal, Dr. Santosh Patkar, for your visionary leadership and continuous support, which played a crucial role in the success of this workshop. Your dedication to promoting academic growth and fostering a learning environment is truly commendable. I also would like to acknowledge our Vice Principal, Smruti Borkar, for her support and valuable contribution to the smooth execution of this workshop. A big thank you goes to all the participants. Your engagement, enthusiasm, and active participation have made this workshop interactive and meaningful. And next, I would like to express my gratitude to organizing team for their tireless efforts and meticulous planning. Lastly, I would like to thank all the staff members of Sridhara Kakulu College who directly or indirectly contributed to the smooth running of this event. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Kabir. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
Thank you, participants.